You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans, America's largest mortgage lender. Spring will be here soon, so if buying a new home is on your to-do list, right now is the time to call Quicken Loans. Learn about which mortgage options make sense for you and get a jump on your competition. With our exclusive Rate Shield approval, the low rate you lock today is protected for up to 90 days while you shop for your new home. With a Rate Shield approval, if rates go up, your low rate stays locked. But if rates go down, you get that new, even lower rate. Either way, you win. Talk to us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com to take advantage. Here's another great reason to work with us. For a record 9 years in a row, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. Again, to lock in today's low mortgage interest rate and get the security of our exclusive Rate Shield approval, call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year fixed-rate loans. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. License in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Hi, welcome to the Subway ad for the new Sesame Ginger Glazed Chicken Signature Wrap. How would you like it?
I'll take a...
Sports announcer at home?
Yeah, how'd you...
We just know.
My wife picks up the new Signature Wrap. It's got double the rotisserie-style chicken mixed with a sesame ginger glaze. She appears annoyed at me, but she shrugs it off. Those sweet and savory flavors are calling her name. She lifts the wrap and... she takes the bite! Incredible! And now she's closing the door on my... Subway, make it what you want.
Limited time only at participating restaurants. Double meat based on average 6-inch sub.
I'm little teapot, short and stout.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
No, like this. When I get all steamed up, then I shout, tip me over and pour me out.
This is WWE superstar Roman Reigns. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
There's a place
out where the fake news is muffled,
past the point where politicians get silent,
where facts don't care about your feelings, where PC is DOA. This is that place. Welcome to the last stop on the right.
After the week that we've had, there are a lot of things that you could be doing with your time right now that do not involve listening to this podcast, and yet here you are,
yes,
the last pod on the right. Here at the last stop on the right.com. I am Ben Crystal.
I'm Mike Gable.
And oh, dear God in heaven, the show we have in store for you today, my friends, a lot of material. It got out of hand this week, dude.
Yes, it did.
I mean, I don't want to be blue, but shit got out of hand this week. We have got some serious podcast fabulosity headed your way this time around. I want to remind you can catch us up through the site, laststopontheright.com. It's an easy way for us if you want to email the show. We have buttons that actually say email. You just boink and you're on your way. I'm on social media at Bennett Truth. That's 2 E's, 2 N's, and 3 T's.
They're not all in a row.
And we have a Facebook group.
Yes.
The Last Stop on the Right Facebook group.
I am in there.
Well, you're on. That's because you're not on Twitter.
No.
Because you old.
Yes.
You are ye old podcaster.
Yes.
But you love the Facebook, though. Because you love all those goofy ass.
I know.
I can't stand them.
I know.
But it's always because by the time you come in and you're like, hey, dude, look at this funny meme, I've seen it like 500 times.
Right.
Because that's all Facebook is at this point. But for now, though.
Well, until Mark Zuckerberg says otherwise.
Homeboy is there. Well, they're cracking down. That's their thing that they're doing. They're cracking down on hate speech or whatever. And they got rid of a bunch of like alt-right wingnuts like Alex Jones.
Yep.
And the InfoWars dudes. Those guys are clowns, though.
Yeah.
But then he also got rid of Farrakhan. I'm like, okay, I can dig it because at least you're being even-handed, although I think we all know the Farrakhan dismissal was just so he could say he wasn't being biased. So there's like 19 conservatives and Farrakhan.
Right.
We got more. Actually, we got more on Farrakhan coming up in the show today. Homeboy had himself a big week too. Homeboy always has himself a big one. That dude walks outside and something goes weird.
Right. He says,
I mean, just anything that involves Farrakhan was probably already weird to begin with. And it's like,
yes.
Oh, Christ, this guy's here. You know,
Exactly.
It's not going to get more normal because Lou Farrakhan just walked in the door. We're going to talk about this in relation to some other stuff, the Facebook thing. But my attitude is, because a lot of my friends, conservatives, are furious because they're always cracking down on free speech, and it's a violation of people's right to be blibbity blobbity blue. And I'm sitting there going, you don't own it. Now I know you feel differently about this because you're like, no, it's a free speech issue.
I mean, sort of, but no, you're right.
But
it's a private entity.
Yeah, it's
you're buying into.
You want to have that kind of a voice on Facebook? Buy you a bunch of their stock is available publicly.
Right.
If that's important to you, get your people together and buy up a big enough chunk of stock that you can get somebody on the board.
Yep.
And then be like, no, this is how it's going to go from now on. But I don't think it's a good business plan.
No, but
because he's dying, he doesn't even know it yet. But that platform is in real trouble.
Oh yeah,
the kids aren't even on it.
Well, he's got the backup with the Instagram.
Well, because you don't want to get in a situation where Instagram is holding Facebook up.
No.
I mean, that's not smart. That's not sound investment strategy because Instagram can't possibly make you enough money.
Right.
No matter how many people are on it. I mean, there's a limit to how much you can capitalize Instagram. But at this point, Facebook is like soccer mommies trading laundry stain tips and like cat memes.
Hey man, I've gotten some stuff out of my shirt from that. But.
Yeah, that doesn't even surprise me. You are the only dude I know that's still like, dude, check out what I thought on the Facebook. And you're like,
come on.
Because you get so excited. You're like, look at this Facebook thing. I'm like, yeah, my 78-year-old mother showed me that like 3 days ago.
Holy crap.
But that's awesome for you. Twitter has far surpassed my nephew and nieces. My niece and nephews, because I have nieces. I have 3 nieces and 3 nephews. None of them are on Facebook.
My kids either. Neither one of them.
Actually, the 2 oldest ones have Facebook accounts, but only so that they can have Instagram or whatever.
Right.
You can tell if you go to their pages, they're never on them.
Right.
And because it's Instagram and then whatever else the kids, I don't even want to know. I know with my nieces, I do not want to know what other platforms they use because I wouldn't want to know about that. Because, my nieces, I knew them when they were little babies and they grow up and they're so pretty.
Dude, I know.
And they're beautiful little girls and they're so sweet and wonderful and they're all well into their teenage years now. And it's freaking me out because I'm like, no, man, my oldest niece last Christmas. We do Christmas lists because I couldn't possibly know unless somebody told me what it was.
Right.
So we do Christmas lists. And as a gag last year, they sent me the list that she gave to her own mom, which had like a bikini on it. And I'm like, oh, hell no. I am not. And as far as I'm concerned, this bikini was 3 sizes too small anyway. I want to, if it was up to me, my niece will go to the beach and, do you see the thing with the Sports Illustrated now? They've got the first girl in one of the burkinis.
Oh, yes.
Everyone's freaking out about it because the burqa and the hijab are obvious symbols of male oppression of women in the Islamic world, which they are.
Yes, they are.
But as far as I'm concerned, my niece shouldn't leave the house in less than that.
I always think like the 1920s women's bathing suit with the pants that go down past their knees.
The bloomers.
Yes, exactly.
And like music in the background.
Of course, as a guy, I would love to have one of those bathing suits like they used to wear. Like I always
to do what, dude? You're freaking me out right now. I want you to think about what you're saying right now.
No. The guy's bathing suits that used to come down to the knickers, and they would be like the big red and white stripe.
Gomez, the tank top thing? Yeah, like Gomez Adams.
Exactly.
You would wear that out in public?
Sure, why not?
I can promise you there is not a human being alive that will want to see you in it. And dude, and I'm saying this to you because
better than other stuff I've seen on the beach.
You're a single cat. So I'm saying this to you as a friend. You go to the beach. Not only does nobody want to see you in it, but if you wear that to the beach, ain't no one going to want to see you out of it either. You should think about that.
Oh, man. Hey, by the way,
sorry, I'll wait.
I like the tablet. Well,
yeah.
Where's mine? Do I get one?
You think you get a tab?
Why not?
Man, you are lucky I'm not carving your notes into your chest.
That's a new thing.
Okay, I'm serious. I got to tell I'm getting you a damn tablet. I'm serious, man. I'm going to carve it into your forehead backwards and let you read your notes out the mirror. Boy, no, the missus. Last week, I had a pile of last stop or last pod on the right notes that we print up.
Right.
And it was like 3 or 4 weeks worth sitting on the coffee table. And she had just had enough of looking at my garbage just piling up all over the house. And she's like, we got like 4 tablets in this house. It's like, how much ink and paper are you wasting? I was like, I don't know. Because I never think about it. Because, you don't think about it. I mean, I'm old school that way. Like I'm not old school like you. But I'm old school. You just automatically hit print it up, and then you have your notes. But she's saying to me, she's like, we've got like 4 tablets in this house.
Did she stand up and drop the mic and walk off? Like,
damn.
Like idiots.
And 99. What? Before we get going, so no, I'm going to start doing this now with the tablet.
That's cool.
You want a tablet? Go get your own.
Man, I don't have enough notes.
You are not even in the universe of being cute enough for me to buy you electronic devices.
I understand. I have my Post-it note here, so
yeah, you got Post-it notes. You're lucky you got Post-it notes.
We're good.
I'm just saying, you're lucky I don't start printing your notes for this week on the back of last week's.
Oh, wow.
I would never do that. Although we both know people in the radio industry.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is confusing as hell. For those of you who had never worked in the radio industry, both of us have at times, this is years and years ago, come through places where you had like an eco-conscious GM.
Yep.
And so they would print the commercial logs on the back of the commercial logs from the week before.
Right.
So it was very confusing.
Or music logs.
Yeah, and you'd like flip it over and not realize you were on the wrong day.
It's like, I'm playing this band. Oh, wait. No, I'm not.
This seems strange to me. I feel like I heard this at exactly the same time yesterday.
Yep.
It's so odd. But there's the danger of being green.
Well,
okay. So just let this be a lesson to you kids. Being green is bad. Because your DJs will start playing songs at the wrong time. Before we get completely out of hand. Let me pull the hand before
I think it may be too late.
Yeah, before the last pod on the right just goes right off the cliff. Do like a dude Thelma and Louise thing here. I want to throw some big ups to the kids, cool kids at KLRN Radio. Their site, klrnradio.com, the world's premier growing podcast network.
Yep.
I mean, they're not the biggest, but they've got some serious talent.
There.
The Foo is on there from twitchy.com, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Orty Packard's on there.
Yep.
Who happens to, by the way, the most technologically advanced Amish person in history. You know what? If you got to be number one at something,
that's a good thing to shoot for.
It's a hell of a conversation starter. Given that, so Homeboy's on there. Got Rod Eccles on there. JD, the whole game. Rick is on there. They got real talent. Go check them out through their site, klrnradio.com, or KLRN's Spreaker channel, which has everything lined up and convenient for you. So if you don't have time, say, now to waste listening to us, you can do it tomorrow.
Yep.
Or next week. Or if you're smart, when everyone you know isn't around, so they don't find out that you listen to us. Because that would be horrifying for you. You can be entertained and educated at the same damn time.
Heck yeah.
Beat that with a stick. All right, before we've done that. We said what's up to the KLRN Radio guys. Are we ready for some pod beer action here?
Is that a rhetorical question?
Last pod on the right. This is a tradition that we are proud to. We're going to invite you to join us. Go ahead.
Go grab a beer.
Go grab a beer. We'll give you a few seconds to grab a beer.
What do you mean? If they've already got one, I'm sure.
If you're listening,
they've had several.
If you're listening to this program right now and you're not already half in the bag, I kind of feel bad for you.
Exactly.
What the hell are you doing? I'm half in the bag and I'm doing a show. That is not true, by the way. We are not half in the bag. Although, because we're not on commercial radio, we could be.
We could do whatever.
All right, so you ready? We got 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Dude, how
I had trouble. Man, my fingernails are terrible.
Your excuse for girling up your beer is that your fingernails. Oh my God!
I don't go to the salon like you do and get my nails done. They're just kind of manly.
Every week I wait for his balls to drop, and every week it's like, really? Come on! Because I thought you were going to because you're finally drinking real beer. So I thought this was the week.
Yes, I did bring that.
Mikey finally mans up, but my fingernails are making it hard for me. Think about it, dude. You just said your fingernails are giving you a hard time opening a beer. That is possibly the least manly thing I have ever heard.
Crap.
You got some more jokes about my tablet?
No, sir.
No,
sir. We're done.
You sure? You don't want to stick your head back in that gator's mouth?
The tablet is a nice touch there.
Well, we've got an enormous amount of material to get through today. Obviously, it has been a very big week in the political milieu. We're going to get to all of that. But we're not going to do everything that happened. I spoke to Rick from...
Well, we can't.
No, I spoke to Rick from KLRN last night about this very topic, actually. I said, dude, right now, I have enough material to do a week of 3-hour-long shows. I mean, it's because it was that kind of week.
Right.
But you could do the bar hearings alone.
Oh,
you could do a year on it. He said, go for it. And I said, oh, hell no. He's like, why not? And I'm like, because... I guarantee you ain't nobody want to listen to me and Mikey for 3 hours
every day.
And 2, I don't want to listen to me for 3 hours.
Nope, I don't want to be with you for that long.
I got things to do, dude. That don't involve sitting in the damn studio. So the hell with that. But since Rick is probably sitting there right now listening and thinking, bringing these guys in was such a mistake.
It's like, maybe I don't want you to do 3 hours.
You know what? How about no hours? We'll go in that direction. How do you guys feel about seconds as a time limit? So we're pretty good at that. Before we get to everything that is happening this week here in the last pod on the right, Mikey, we got to get some rapid fire going on. So Mikey's got a topic. You got a topic in hand?
I do.
Is it going to scare me? Is it going to make me sad?
No, not sad. All right. So we're not doing anything crazy this week.
So Mikey's going to pick out a topic, and I'm going to have somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 seconds to riff on it. When we first started this, our first edition of the last pod on the right, we actually tried to time it at 60 seconds.
Yeah, well, whatever.
And it turns out that I'm neither funny nor quick enough to get it done in 60 seconds.
No.
So now we use 60-ish as a term.
I was going to say, it's imaginary 60.
60-ish is a term which in last pod on the right parlance means whenever the hell Ben runs out of crap to say.
He's done.
So, what, Mikey, is our topic for this week's rapid fire?
Springtime, I'm feeling all nature-y. I made that word up. Nature-y.
Dude, are you trying to be like uber creep today?
Nope.
I'm feeling all
nice.
nature-y.
Dude, it's nice outside. It's that time when, that week between winter and summer here in Savannah.
When you don't freeze or sweat your butt off while you're stalking.
Exactly.
Not that you would stalk anybody.
So anyway. All right.
So what is? Since it's springtime for Mikey.
We're going to get the fur a-flying.
Oh my God, you actually made it weirder.
Really? You ready?
Like it's already like,
No. It's great.
It's springtime. It's the greatest time of year, and now the fur's gonna fly.
Wow!
I'm like, wow, man, this is.
I could be on the bird cage.
Anyway, you should be locked. You should be locked in a cage. I don't know if it has to involve birds, but all right. What is our topic for rapid
political
fire?
Animals?
Oh my God, you made it even.
Of course.
What the hell, dude?
Of course. All right. I'm going to give you an example.
Joe Biden slogan.
I know.
Week.
Well, and he was stupid, wasn't he?
He should have taken. He should have taken.
Look at his week.
You're having a bad week when advice you got from Ben and Mike at the last pod on the right was actually good advice relative to what you did.
Whoops!
I'm just saying.
All right,
Joe, we're here for you, bud.
All
right, political animals.
All right, so I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you an example. Okay. All right, I'm going to take like Vermont Senator Pat Leahy.
Right.
All right.
You can take him, please.
The Leahyenas.
The what?
All right, the lay.
You're barely hanging on.
I am. I'm losing it. This is it.
The lay hyena. Okay.
The lay hyena.
So like
yes,
the
exactly.
Pat lay hyena.
Exactly.
Okay, so if I could go to like Wyoming and do like Senator Mike N. Zebra.
See, exactly. That's what perfect. That's exactly where I was going this week.
It's a good thing I could play with more than 60 seconds because it's going to take a minute. Man, so like instead of there's obvious ones.
Okay.
Like instead of Kamala Harris, you could go Koala Harris.
Yes.
Or like the Glyptodon, a big armadillo-looking thing.
Yeah.
It'd be like the Glyptodonald Trump.
Oh, nice. I like that.
You could have Jay Inslee from Washington. You could have like the ring-tailed Insleemer. And see how I made that work there.
Yes, I did.
The Tulsi bearded collie. Yeah, that's not bad, is it?
No, it's not. No.
I'll tell you what, though, Texas dodged a bullet, didn't they? Because they could have had a Senator Sooty Mangabeto. Sooty Mangabe is a thing, by the way. I'm not just inventing stuff here.
I didn't figure.
That's a real thing.
I didn't figure.
You got to stretch for some of these, though.
Well,
like the Roy Blunt nose lizard. Roy Blunt nose lizard.
Nice.
That's right. The wire-tailed swalwell.
Oh, nice.
In the skies of Californistan, the wire-tailed swalwell.
See, wait.
Go to the beach and check out a Bernie sand crab.
Ooh.
What, you don't like wire-tailed swalwell?
No,
that was giving you trouble?
Did you say California stand?
California stand.
No, I like that.
Yeah, well,
so I was just making sure I heard you right.
Like California at this point, and I should say, Mom, earmuffs. California's a shithole.
Yes, you're
California is a third world shithole. And so, yeah, California stand. I'm super comfortable with that.
Okay.
Kiki Gillibrand up there in New York, you'd be like the Capuchin Monkey Gillibrand.
Oh,
it's like monkey.
Okay.
Monkey, yeah, no. All right, that's not great. That wasn't a great. That's not my best effort. I can do better. Ilhan Omarmaset.
Nice. There you
go. Maisie Hero Northern Hairy Nose Wombat.
Okay. Sure.
I'm trying.
Sure, man. I guess I gave you a difficult one.
How about we go south? The world's largest rat, the Capybaraja Krishnamurthy from Illinois. Raja Krishnamurthy, the congressman. Capybaraja Krishnamurthy.
Okay. I'll give you that one.
I'm just saying, dude, they're not all that easy. There's the Barbary macaque. How about the Barbara Lee macaque?
Yes.
Well, I mean, it sounds right. What, man? They can't all be gems.
No,
okay?
I guess.
No, you guess not. Well, you guessed right. I only give like one or two more here. I can't do it with Elizabeth Warren, but I could do it with her nickname. Famously, Elizabeth Warren famously falsely tried to appropriate Native American heritage.
Exactly.
So you could go and she got the nickname Pocahontas.
Right.
Like the Pocahontas Tasmanian devil.
Well, that definitely works.
I got to go mythological for this one, but Amy Klobuchar Charybdis. See, a little Greek mythology for you right there. Nobody has any idea what the hell I just said.
Nope.
The global what?
The what?
The narrow-nosed Rhinocerosa doloro from Connecticut. The Rhinocerosa doloro.
Currently extinct.
Tragically not extinct.
Not extinct. You're right.
There's one left, and it's not even in captivity. Sorry. It's large and in charge. Well, I got one more. Can I go to the fossil record? Does it have to be like an animal that's like alive right now?
No, sure.
Okay, so I could like the Alexandria Ocasiopithecus.
Nice.
I'm not ashamed of that.
No.
One more.
Okay.
One more.
Okay. 60. You're at 55 seconds.
55. Okay. 54, 53, 52. Chuck Shoe Meerkat.
Oh, nice.
And I'm done. That's it. Chuck Shoe Meerkat. What was it? In Lion King, was the meerkat Pumbaa or Timon? I get the two of them. One was a hedgehog.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Pete Buttigieg Hedgehog.
I don't remember.
I could have done Pete Buttigieg Hedgehog.
Oh, dude, that's great.
Even think of that.
That's great.
Oh, man. Well,
I love it.
Better luck next time.
Yep.
All right. Real quick reminder, everybody, check us out through social media. I am at Bennett Truth on Twitter. 2 E's, 2 N's, 3 T's.
Oh, they're not all in a row.
And then, of course, we have the Last Stop on the Right Facebook page, laststopontheright.com. Want to remind people, go check out our polls. We have a new feature on laststopontheright.com. We have polls.
Yes, we do.
They don't have strippers on them. So
sorry.
They're the good kind.
You said it, and I started giggling.
They're the good kind of polls. We have a poll about Kamala Harris on there. We have a poll about Facebook and their new crackdown on there. So we want you to come and answer our polls.
Yes, we do.
We do. We want you to do that. And you can vote once, I think. It's set up, but if you decide you don't like your vote, you can change it.
Oh, well,
but you can't vote like 26 times. Because that would just make it even less scientific than it already is.
So it's not like the election process here in America.
No. Stacey Abrams is not going to like the way we run our website. She's actually on our list for this week. She will be coming up because we got some peach state pickings in the last pod this week because Stacey Abrams had a hell of a week.
Yep.
She just did something again today. I was like, oh my God, shut the hell up. She was in Texas, and she said she's still going with the I won the governor's race. And it got weirder this week. So we got a bit on that we're going to talk about just because we're in Georgia and actually care a little bit. But holy Hercules Hernandez. Did the Democrats have a bad week?
Well,
I feel like it's every single week, though.
Yeah, when do they not?
Every single week on the last pod on the right, I say this is the worst week the Democrats have had since Hillary lost.
Hold my beer.
And every single week, they're like, no, watch this.
Hold my beer.
You think we screwed up last week, Jack? Check this out. They were out there supporting running over people with tanks this week. That was the Democrats' thing this week.
Right.
It was. I mean, I know I feel like I'm being repetitive, but I'm not. They find a new way to out-buffoon themselves every damn week. Trump has broken these people. And I'm not saying that as an endorsement of Trump, although it is one of the things about him I appreciate.
Right.
I appreciate the economic work he's been doing. We got that to come up today because holy Moses, the economy's killing it.
I'm happy.
A lot of people are as happy as they have ever been,
right?
Which is something we will also be discussing because the Dems are against that too. But he's broken these people, and if you needed any proof of that, the Senate hearings with Attorney General Barr, what a dumpster fire that was. They walked out of there trying to look what we accomplished, man. We really stuck it to him, and even like the New York Times was like, I don't think that went the way you think it went.
No.
I don't think that means what you think it means. See all these pieces of dirt in the ocean. So that takes us, Mikey, to this week's menu of madness.
Yes.
So let us take a look. What are today's targets?
All right. Well, the Senate Smackdown.
Smackdown.
Attorney General William Barr headed to the Hill, and you know what he did?
Was that
handle his business?
He did
handled it
like a boss. I mean, you don't even have to be a Republican. You could be a pretty hardcore Democrat, and coming out unless you've just completely deluded yourself.
Right.
You're coming out of that going, oh man.
They're going, damn.
All right. So
wait, I didn't say that.
The Senate Smackdown. What else we got?
Let's see. We got Viva Venezuela.
Olé.
Socialist stormtroopers goose stepping on parade.
It got.
I mean, it was nasty.
It went out. It got out of the news cycle pretty quick because they wanted to do the Barr hearing. Well, not they wanted to. They had the Barr hearings, and that became the central story, of the week in this country. But yeah, man. So all right. So we're gonna do some Venezuela. We're going down south to Venezuela.
Yes, we are.
Taking the rock to Caracas.
How about Spies Like Us 2?
Spies Like Us 2?
Yeah, man. Barry's bumblers are busted.
Oh, that is a thing. That's gonna be it. Wait until next week because they got it now. Even the Times and the Washington Post are acknowledging that Obama lied about whether or not they were spying on Trump's campaign.
Right.
And it's deep, and actually it does involve Russian collusion. So, but not what you think.
Right.
So yeah, so we got that coming up. we got to be looking at Spies Like Us, too. I guarantee this isn't going to be as funny as the original.
No.
Spies Like Us is a classic.
That's a great movie.
In fact, we should feel bad about using their name in this.
Yes, we should.
All right, what else?
Hooray for Hollywood.
Okay. I'll take things I'm not likely to say for 1,000, Alex.
I mean, the left coast liberals, they hurting or helping the Democrats, man? That's a good question.
It's not actually. It's an easily answered question. So we'll do that. We'll do that.
It's getting hot in here. I tried. Another passenger getting into the Democratic clown car.
Actually, there's two more. But was that
really?
was that Nelly?
That was Nelly.
Man, you are not only are you old, you are old and white.
I was not.
Wow,
I was not bodacious.
Kids, be glad. Good gracious, be glad that you're not in the studio with us because he actually did the white man's overbite when he was doing it. That's like the whitest moment in the history of whitening. You're like, good gracious, and I'm like, okay, whitey.
Oh, man.
The white devil slave master appropriating the black man's music over there.
All right, anti-social media, too.
Anti-social media.
Yes, we're going to be doing that because Zuckerberg's Facebook cracked down.
All right, I'm going to talk about that a little bit.
All right, lock and learn. Guns.
Lock and learn.
Guns in the classrooms, dude. I want to know. Safer for students or killing kids?
You know what I'm going to say.
I know what you're going to say.
So
I want the rest of the
guns in the classroom because they got the new law in Florida. They're going to let teachers bring them in the classroom.
Yes, and I'm cool with that.
All right. So we get that coming up. Then we got some misfires and minutia.
Yeah, all right. That
and
works,
at the end,
the hot take of the week.
Oh, and it's a dooze.
Is it?
It is a dooze. We don't have to go that far. We're going to Alabama for that.
Oh, well.
We going to Bama.
That right there says a lot.
Sweet home Alabama. This ain't gonna make you super proud. Wow, man! Every time I snap my fingers, it spikes the meter. That's cool. All right, but first up, we want to go to the Senate SmackDown because Attorney General Barr handled them like a boss. Homeboy was like fending them off with one hand. Kamala Harris, I thought she was literally going to start crying at one point.
Well,
it was Hiroshima for them. And in watching them come out after, from the Senate side,
right,
and coming out from the Democrat Senate side and acting like look what we accomplished. I'm like, it looked so bad. They basically went with the nanny boo boo, we can't hear you defense. Was I mean, she's up there. First of all, they lied about what the Mueller report. They got the media do that whole thing with the Mueller report, and they're like, Mueller complained to Barr about the way Barr was characterizing it. That is not what Mueller complained about.
Nope.
Mueller complained about the way the Democrat media complex was twisting Barr's summary.
Right.
He was upset with the media. They're out there. Well, the media is reporting that Mueller is very upset with Barr. No, they are not upset with Barr. They were Mueller was not upset with Barr. He was upset with the media. So that you're not doing well when Lindsey Graham is cursing at you.
Lindsey Graham, no, you're not.
Lindsey Graham F-bombed the Senate this week. I about fell out of my chair.
It is kind of funny.
I'm like, man, but he went in there and he set Barr went in there. He set the record straight. He made it clear. The exchange with Kamala Harris, pistol packing mama Kamala, that was so bad for her. And she just, you're not giving me the answers I want, so I'm just going to move on to something else. And he's like, I can't give you any other answer than the answer I have.
The truth is the truth.
He's like, this is what I got.
Sorry.
And it was the way he handled it, because she's like, well, if that's not the, if you're not going to give me the answer that I'm looking for, that's not a satisfactory answer. So let's just move on.
Okay.
He's like, okay.
All right, let's move on.
Fine, because the more we move on, the closer I get to the bar, honey. So,
yep.
Fine by me. I thought they came off like angry kittens.
Yep.
And he just ate their lunch and looked bored doing it. But watching him handle just the media, the Democrats trying to repeat the media talking points
right,
that Mueller was supposedly upset about X or Y, and Barr just going, nope. And and they wanted to go after him about the redactions. And he's like, hey, listen, Bob Mueller was in the room.
All right.
So, if it's an issue, go take it up with him.
Right.
But they don't want to do that because then if they have to throw Mueller under the bus, then the entire 2.5 year Trump-Russia collusion narrative, they have to admit that it's dead.
Right.
So they can't turn on Mueller. Because they want to.
Well, I'm sure.
Because they got to have somebody to be the scapegoat. Because they did burn off $30 million in 2.5 years in order to come up with diddly points squat. But they said the whole time that Mueller was the second coming, the savior, the hero. And with this, if they turn and say, no, that the whole report's garbage, then that means they have to throw Mueller under the bus. And then that means they have to obviate that they've painted themselves into one hell of a corner.
Right.
I could not be less sympathetic.
I mean, yeah.
And I understand what Harris is doing. She's out there, and she's only up there trying to score points for her campaign. She doesn't care what Barr says.
Right.
So that's why she's going, well, I'm not getting the answer I want, so I'm moving on. Barr's going, well, I can't give you any other answer, so I don't,
Right.
Sorry. But like I said earlier, if you'd like to move on, that gets me closer to drinking time, so it's fine with me.
Yep.
But she didn't really care to begin. Keep in mind, when you're watching people like Kamala Harris.
What?
She's not. Well, it's not Kamala. It's Kamala. Because they got to make it complicated. Everything's complicated.
Yeah, of course.
There's a dude running for president whose name is Buttigieg. So yeah, okay. So it's going to be one of those years. Fine. She's not interested. She wasn't interested in what Barr had to say anyway.
Right.
She knew going in that the Russia narrative, the Russia collusion narrative is cooked.
Right.
She knows going in. So she knows she's not going to score. There's not going to be any groundbreaking, holy cow, oh my God, did you hear what Barr just said moment? That's not going to happen.
Right.
So she's just trying to, she's feeding meat to the masses. She's trying to pop up her presidential profile a little bit, which she's going to need to do because she is, oh my God, way behind. It is non-close. And then you had the House guys.
Right.
That buffoon from Tennessee, Steve Cohen. First of all, Steve Cohen, I'd say you're a buffoon. Barr he's just like, no, I'm not going. We're going to have our hearing the next day. We want Barr to come. And he's like, nah. I said everything that we needed to say to the Senate. I don't have time to come and repeat all those answers to the House version of this.
Right.
Because that's all it is.
Right.
So Cohen shows up with a ceramic chicken that, it's like, dude, did you buy that from QVC? So literally, it's like from QVC's cavalcade of ceramic cats or whatever. And he's got a ceramic chicken in a bucket of KSC. And he's eating it on C-SPAN. Because he's like, haha, get it? Barr is a chicken. I'm like, no, Barr is not a chicken for not being there. Barr is busy. Barr has things to do as the Attorney General of the United States. We now know that some of the things that Barr has to do as Attorney General of the United States are going to create some serious headaches for the Democrats because there was spying going on in 2016.
Oh, dude, yes.
So
absolutely.
That's going to be an issue. And that may have been part of why the Democrats were throwing such a tantrum.
Right.
Steve Cohen, and I'm not trying to be like that guy, like make fun of somebody's looks, because I'm a bridge troll and I know it. Well, I mean, I don't want to be like, haha, you're ugly, because I look like, I'll put it to you this way. My older brother is a very handsome man. And when people say to him, well, what does your brother look like? Your younger brother, meaning me. He'll say, it'd be like, well, imagine me if I had lost like a bunch of fights. I'm just saying, I admit it. I am not a traditionally handsome man, but I know what love is.
You realize I'm not arguing.
No, it's totally cool. So I'm not trying to be that guy and be like, make fun of Steve Cohen, be like, oh, you're ugly. But Steve Cohen looks like the kind of dude that drives around in a windowless van offering little kids free candy. He does. And watching that dude gum fried chicken on C-SPAN, the amount of damage you are doing to your party right now, because you got Sammy Stalker up there with a ceramic chicken gumming his food. I was like, there's no way this could look worse for you guys unless I don't know, Michael Moore waddled in and was like, I have some of the chicken too. I mean, it was the worst looking thing. I'm like, it's like watching a donkey eat corn. And he's like, haha, get it? Because I'm saying bars of chicken. I'm like,
Oh, is that what you were doing?
Yeah.
I thought it was free advertisement.
I was like, well, no, I can guarantee you the way I was looking at that, way that Steve Cohen, Congressman Steve Cohen, representing the Memphis area of Tennessee, KFC would have paid him to eat Popeyes. It was that bad. They would be like, no, seriously, dude, you know what? You can go have some churches.
In fact, one of the others
on us.
We'll pay for it.
We will literally pay you not to eat our food on television. But I thought Harris came off worse. I haven't seen her take a pounding like that since she was dating Willie Brown. What'd I say?
Dude. Wow.
Oh yeah. That was a bad week. They also, of course, had a bad week down because they mishandled the Venezuela thing.
Yep.
You've got Maduro, a communist, who is the heir to Chavez, a communist.
Right.
And you'll remember the Democrat Party in this country endorsed Chavez. Mm-hmm. Bernie Sanders personally vowed and vouched for Hugo Chavez as like the potential political savior of the Western Hemisphere. I mean, these are their guys.
Right.
And their guys were running people over in tanks earlier this week.
Damn sure were.
Ilhan Omar, congressman from Hamas. I'm sorry, from Minnesota. What'd I say? She actually went on there and said that Maduro is being bullied by the United States. I'm like, the guy that's getting bullied usually isn't the one running people over in tanks.
No, you're right.
They're the ones getting bullied. This was a week in which a communist regime, which has the endorsement of most, if not all, of the U.S. Democratic Party, on live television. This was the first time we've seen something like this since Tiananmen Square.
Yep.
You'll notice, by the way, how fast that got out of the news cycle. And I know the Barr hearing came up on Thursday,
right,
or on Wednesday, rather, in the Senate. So obviously that took precedence, but they did not want to talk about the fact that the great leftists of the Southern Hemisphere were running people over in tanks. It was I hadn't seen something like that where it was just unabashed government, like, we're just going to mow these people down.
Yep.
I hadn't seen something like that since Tiananmen Square.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously the Chinese have whacked, I don't know how many thousands of people, for being Christian in public or whatever the hell they do. And, the Muslim countries kill people every 3 seconds. I don't know. Because it gives them, it's like a sport.
You did something relatively stupid. We're going to chop your head off.
The Saudis just
whatever.
They're like, hey, you know what? You're off comes the head.
Your turn.
You can get it and obviously throughout the Muslim world, being gay can get you hung.
Right.
But it has been since Tiananmen Square, now that I think about it, that I've seen a government go like, we're going to roll tanks right over these people.
Yep.
It was a bad one for the Democrats. And I love the fact that they're like, Maduro lost to Guaido in the election.
Right.
It's kind of Hillary Clinton-esque in a way. Well, I mean, because
she wishes. I mean,
it kind of is, though. Because remember, Hillary Clinton's whole thing is she's just the reason the Democrats are in the bind that they're in is and I've said it before on the show here. It's because all can be traced back to them never getting over Hillary losing.
Right.
All of this nonsense is because they can't handle it. But, you got Maduro going, they had a legitimate election. I refuse to recognize it.
Right.
And the Democrats had nothing to say about that. They're all about the process. And then Maduro, communist, their guy down in Venezuela, says, I do not recognize the deal. I lost, so I don't recognize it.
Right.
And they're like, all of a sudden, nothing from the Democrats. And Guaido says, I won it. And they're like, oh, it's a coup.
Right.
He's like, no, It's not a coup. When the guy who won says I won, that's not a coup.
Right.
I don't think that word means. You'll keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means. But what you are seeing, and I know we got to move along, but what you are seeing right now in Venezuela that's how so-called socialists, communists, because as we've established here at the last pod on the right, socialism is just communism with tenure, fascism with office hours.
Right.
It's the same thing. This is how they handle losing elections.
Yep.
It's also, by the way, why they support gun control. Well, because you're going to do this, and it's super handy if you don't let people have guns and they can shoot back.
Right.
You'll notice, by the way, that nobody was firing back at the tanks that were running people down.
They were throwing rocks at it.
Because they don't have guns.
Right.
Even MSNBC, and they had a guy on talking about it, and I guarantee this comment was not vetted because MSNBC would never have allowed this on the air. And the guy, some guess, was, gun control has left the people defenseless. And they got out of that quick. They're like, because they're a gun control bunch.
Right.
So-called gun control, which we all know is actually people control. But some guy on MSNBC says this might be different if the people weren't legally disarmed.
Right.
But what you're seeing in Venezuela is what Bernie Sanders and AOC and Ilhan Omar and the rest of them, this is what they have planned for you. If they win, that's what you'll be living in. Where you either toe the line or they run you down.
Right.
And the anti-liberty hate groups, like the Everytowns and the gun grabbers, they want to help people like Bernie put you in the same position as the guys who are under the tanks. That's what that's all about. In Bernie Sanders and the Democrat Party's dream world, you are defenseless. You're not the guy in the tank. You're not Tank Man. Okay, you're not the guy. Remember the dude that stopped the column of tanks outside Tiananmen Square?
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the most famous images in human history. It's possibly one of the 10 most immediately recognizable photographs in the history of the human species.
Right.
In the Bernie Sanders Democrat Party gun control crowd's ideal world, in their utopia, you're not him. You're under the tank.
Right.
You're dead. Okay, that's why they want the control, and that's why they want you to be disarmed. That is absolutely what will happen. But I just want to point out that Jesus, man, they are sitting on the world's largest. Forget about the Saudis. Forget about the Kuwaitis. Forget about the Bahrainis. It's the world's largest reserve of oil.
Yep.
Venezuela is sitting on it. Not one of the Middle Eastern countries. Venezuela is sitting on the world's largest reserve of petroleum, and it is a third world earmuff. 3, 2, 1, good shithole.
Yep.
And why? Socialism. That's why. Because that's what communism does. It makes your country a dump.
Yep.
Controlled by a few at the expense of the many. So when you hear these guys, these dumbass kids at their, coming out of college philosophy class, they've had like a semester of Western Civ or whatever. Like, well, my professor taught me. The moment they say my professor says, whatever's coming next is going to be retarded anyway.
Yeah.
My professor taught me socialism will create a utopia where the 99% get the benefit. And I'm like, no. Socialism gives 1% ownership of the 99%.
Right.
And if you don't, in the 99%, do what the 1% tells you, they run you over with tanks.
Right.
Venezuela.
Yep.
Venezuela. And for those of you who support so-called gun control, the Moms Demand groups, etc., in their utopia, Bernie's utopia, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's, Alexandria Ocasio-Pithecus's utopia, that's the economic system.
Right.
And you add to that the other wing of the Democrat Party, the anti-liberty groups. They take away your firearms. You go from being the guy at least shooting back to the guy under the tank.
Right.
So that's what happens. You keep in mind that Bernie at the moment is busy pushing for the right to let the Unabomber vote in presidential and local elections.
Yes, he is.
Homeboy is, he's well behind Biden and fading. And I'm thinking, Bern, I'm thinking the moment that you suggested that we should give the Unabomber a chance to run for Florence, Colorado City Council, you might have damaged yourself a little bit.
Yep.
Because, that's possible now. Side note, kids that are listening to the last pod on the right. Now, I know we mentioned this last week, but when they talk about every man, every woman, every vote, including the people in like the federal prisons, as Bernie wants to allow terrorists to vote. He actually said that. He would let the Boston bomber vote.
Yep.
They would let Kermit Gosnell vote. So if you support that, I want you to think about the fact that you could potentially be ushering in a system where the Unabomber gets elected to the Florence County, Colorado County Commission. He could get elected to the House of Representatives if enough people, and it's Colorado.
Absolutely.
So if enough people get high, or keep it,
you could vote for that dude.
Yeah, I'd be like, it would be funny, dude, if we all voted for the Unabomber. And next thing you know, Ted Kaczynski's
like, holy crap, he won.
It could happen. Or in California, I mean, hell, man, remember that Scott Peterson dude, the dude that killed his wife and her baby, dumped them into Bay. He's at Pelican Bay.
Yep.
The California State Maximum Security Penitentiary. There is no doubt in my mind, or one of them, there is no doubt in my mind that the people of California, especially Northern California, are dumb enough that they would put someone like that on, I don't know, the Humboldt County Commission.
Right.
I could see a dude like that winning. I could see a dude like that winning a statewide election in California. That's how much of a nightmare that place has become.
Yep.
I mean, if Charles Manson was still alive and Bernie Sanders got his way, Charles Manson could get elected governor of California.
You're right.
How funny, and yet that's actually what they're talking about doing.
Yep.
So the next time you think about it, I want you to think about that. I know we want to get to the campaign stuff, but we got to do this. Turns out, Mikey.
Yes,
there was a spying going on during the 2016 campaign.
Oh no!
It was the Obama people.
Oh,
this week, one of the reasons they wanted to step on Barr as hard as they did is because he is now opening investigations into this. I'm not saying people gonna go to prison, but people gonna go to prison.
But damn,
well, it's not gonna be Obama.
No.
It is a statement of fact at this point that the Obama administration, and we know this now. And again, I would point out that even left-wing outlets like the Times, the Post, CNN are even acknowledging that you can't ignore it anymore.
Right.
Because the FBI sent, well, they're saying it's the FBI, but Papadopoulos actually thinks she was CIA. Nobody knows what this woman's real name is. But we now know that the Obama administration, some department thereof, sent this Turk woman. Her name being, the pseudonym she used was Turk. Something Turk. I can't, Aria Turk or something like that.
Right.
Apparently, according to Papadopoulos, she was a bomb-ass blonde. Just uber fine. Mm-hmm. And she was sent to London to hit on him to try and, get information out of him. And we now know that she was sent by either the FBI. He thinks it was the CIA, but it's looking like it was definitely one of the two agencies.
Right.
So the question is, how high did that conspiracy go?
Exactly.
We now know that Comey had to have been involved. Mm-hmm. Susan Rice, who was already disgraced because of her thing with the whole, when she lied about Benghazi, and Bo Bergdahl.
All right.
Wait a minute, because I have a piece of this here. She was, on the day she was clearing her office out because it was time for Trump to come in. Like, I think it was actually Trump's inauguration day itself. She sent out a note. I'm quoting now. President Obama said he wants to be sure that as we engage with the incoming team, we are mindful to ascertain if there is any reason that we cannot share information fully as it relates to Russia. So they were literally openly discussing spying on the Trump team.
Right.
And then, Azra Turk is the woman's name. We don't know what her real name is.
Right.
She was a spy. And she was sent by the United States government to try and get into the Trump campaign through Papadopoulos. It did work.
Right.
Obviously.
Right.
Papadopoulos was like, no. And having seen Papadopoulos, I mean, to be honest, dude, if a chick that fine, if I look like, and again, admitting that I look like me, okay, if I look like George Papadopoulos and I'm sitting there in the bar of some London hotel and some super fox walks up and like, hey, big boy, I'd be like,
I might be a little skeptical of that.
There's a lot of dudes in this city that you could be hitting on right now, and you're hitting on me. I would assume she was a pro.
Well, that's what I would say. I'm not paying for it, and I'm not giving up information for it either.
I would assume she's a pro. He assumed she was a pro. He got it right.
Mm-hmm.
I would have assumed, well, because I'm nobody. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't think that somebody trying to spy for Obama on the Trump campaign would be bothering with me.
Right.
He got it right. He's like, no, she's a spy.
Right.
He doesn't know. There's some dispute over which agency.
Right.
But he got it. I would have assumed she was just a hooker.
Me too.
Like, well, obviously you're talking to me because you want me to get out my wallet. Because there ain't no way in the universe someone that looks like you is hitting on someone that looks like me in a place like this. But, think about it now, dude. The FISA warrants that started all of this came off from the Steele dossier, which has been totally debunked. That's what they used as justification for the FISA warrants against Carter Page. And we know now that the Steele dossier was absolutely bogus.
Right.
So, okay, that's part one. Papadopoulos, supposedly the target of the investigation. They said they weren't spying on Trump. We now know that they were, and they were after Papadopoulos, lies number 2 and 3. Mm-hmm. They said the investigation didn't start until July of 2017 when it became apparent that Trump was going to get the nomination. We now know it was before that because the Turk girl was hitting up Papadopoulos well before that.
Right.
So there's lie number 4. That they said there was no spying. That's lie number 5. Was only the FBI. We now know, obviously, it wasn't only the FBI. Because unless it was literally compartmentalized within the FBI alone. But then how do they get a foreign chick into that hotel room or into that hotel bar?
Right.
Like, where would they even get her from? You have to have, the FBI doesn't have that kind of reach.
No.
So somebody had to help them out. Like, who are we going to, because she was sent by Obama's people, the federal government, but it was the Obama administration.
Right.
So the FBI had to go to somebody and go, we need a babe. We need a babe that can credibly walk in here and make Papadopoulos think that she's just some super hottie and get information from him. Mm-hmm. And I guess there's nobody at the FBI. Well, I mean, because they don't do that. They do counter intel.
Right. Right.
Domestically. So it's if that request to find her or someone like her went outside the agency at all, even if it was Comey sending a text message to Clapper, the DCI,
right,
then you've involved 2 branches of the federal government because Clapper's not in the DOJ. None of the foreign espionage guys are in the DOJ for a very good reason because they do stuff the DOJ is not allowed to do.
Right.
And so that's I personally find it very hard to believe that Obama knew none of this was going on. Now they're in a situation where all the best that they can do, and they haven't admitted this yet, but the best that they can do is that they keep Obama from going to prison. I mean, to be honest, I don't think Hillary's going to go to prison.
Right.
I also don't see the point.
No.
I mean, she's cooked. She doesn't want to admit it. That's fine. I personally, as a conservative, would prefer that Hillary Clinton be left on the outside where she can continue running her yap and hurting the Democrats every time she does it.
Right.
Because nobody likes you. I'm sorry, Hillary. You know, and I'll be fair. She was a babe 50 years ago. She was.
If you say so.
Dude, I'm just saying. She was cute. Remember in the early 90s when Clinton first got elected, you could see, I thought she was a very attractive woman. But now she's just another shrill old harpy. I'm like, not only are you not going to get her in prison, don't bother.
Right.
Don't bother. Let her keep going. Obama, they would literally throw themselves in front of a train to keep him out of prison because he's their guy.
Right.
But someone's going to have to go to the big house.
Well,
that's not definitely one branch, probably 2. Well, almost definitely 2 branches. It's possible 3.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what if state was involved? Because you're overseas now.
Scale.
So someone's going to have to go to prison for this. And it's obviously, it's a question of whether they can keep the whatever outrage over whatever dumb thing Trump says next going.
Right.
And the media won't report any of this. They've all done perfunctory reports. Okay, so it turns out that there was this and that, and now moving on.
Yep.
Let's talk about, good restaurants for the weekend. Because they don't want to talk about it. Would you?
No.
If you're the New York Times and you are absolutely in the bag for the Democrats from beginning to end, would you want to continue reporting on a story which makes it clear that every single statement the Obama administration, the Democrat media complex made regarding the so-called Trump-Russia collusion narrative was not only false, but involved the Obama administration violating multiple federal laws in order to do something they said they weren't doing, which was spying on Trump.
Right.
So, yeah, It's a question of how high it goes. I will say that I don't think Biden is going to get any blowback because I believe that Biden didn't know.
Huh?
Exactly. because Biden is
yeah. He's too busy hugging on women.
Biden's too busy. Chest of the molester there.
Yeah.
That ain't right. I'm just saying. He's got himself a big week too. That was not a good week for him. He should have taken our advice.
Taking one of our slogans.
Just one. Because what did he come up with midweek this week was Make America Moral Again? I'm like, you're going with Mama? You, Joe Biden, Mr. Hansy are going with Mama as a slogan?
With moral.
Not only is it obviously you'd be like, haha, it's stupid derivative, like MAGA, Mama. I couldn't think of anything else. Okay, fine.
Right.
Because that's what he's saying. It's like, just there's no originality here at all. But Mama, it's if you think about it, it's like, can you imagine going to a Biden rally and a bunch of women yelling "Mama" at a dude that's got a problem keeping his hands off of women?
Yes, I am.
He's a yeah, baby. Oh, with that kind of campaign. Hey, listen. No, that's Bill Clinton. That'd be Bill Clinton.
Right, yeah,
Bill Clinton would abuse that. Biden is too doofy.
No, you're right.
I mean, you've seen Biden and also I'm not 100% certain that all his dogs are barking at this point.
Well, no.
Well, you saw the same thing I did from Pittsburgh
when we thought he was having a stroke. Like I was like, what the hell did he just say?
He was trying to say at one point, I think it was Allegheny. And he came out, and it came out like Malomar or something. Like, what the hell did he just? Dude, where the hell is Malomar, Pennsylvania?
Somebody needs to go up there and check on the former vice president, please.
Yeah, where?
Because I think something's wrong.
Keep in mind, this cat would somehow win. You'd be talking about a dude that appears to be struggling with his faculties, who would be hitting 80 before midway through his first term.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not trying to be mean. There are a lot of reasons politically and from a partisan perspective that we can jump all over Joe Biden.
Right.
But in this particular case, I watched that rally in Pittsburgh and thought, oh, my God.
Yeah, something's wrong.
Is it because they just can't – I mean, they just don't know what to do with him? Or like you said last week where Jill is just like, oh, God, get out of the house.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's doing it all on his own, man.
Just like, tired of you.
She told me to leave.
Get the hell out of here, Jill. I'm sick of you, boo.
She told me to leave, so I got nothing else to do.
What you going to do? Oh, I guess I'll go run for president.
Run for president.
He is now he's closing in on 20 points ahead of Byrne. And everybody else is in single digits.
Right.
That will narrow.
Or less.
That will narrow even if Biden doesn't do anything else exceptionally dumb. He got a bump because he jumped in.
Right.
And, okay, fine. So that's going to happen. But he's closing in on 40%. And Bernie's down in like the mid-teens.
Yep.
And the rest of it, some of them, you almost want to pat him on the head and be like Nuke Boy, Swalwell.
Like, yeah.
It's like, dude, go home.
Go home.
Because
save
I despise everything about you.
Save your money.
Yeah, you are a garbage person and a terrible congressman. But Eric Swalwell, as much as I loathe everything about people like that snotty, snide, that sanctimonious, smug, supercilious Swalwell, that attitude that liberals have, where and you know that it's based on nothing. It's just that it's the talk with their eyes closed thing. Like everything that I have to go to the bathroom. I mean, everything they say is so important. Swalwell is a perfect example of that. But as much as I loathe him, I don't. After a while, it gets awkward, right? I mean, you watch some guy just making an absolute fool of himself, and even if you're like, this is like the worst dude in the world, so funny. Look at this dumbass. After a while, you're like, oh, man, it's starting to get awkward.
Right.
Like you're watching some kid, like when you were in school and like the school bully got pantsed in front of the whole school and everybody points and laughs, Right. Because nobody liked the guy.
Right.
But then after a minute, you're like, you kind of feel bad for him because you're like, wow, man, this is going to scar him. And I don't explain to me the genius of hitching their wagons to these Hollywood people.
Oh, I know.
I don't get it. I mean, They've got Alyssa Milano, the chick that played Sam on Who's the Boss. And for those of you who are not Generation X or older, you don't know what I mean. Alyssa Milano's claim to fame prior to becoming a major Democrat Party mover and shaker was that she played the daughter of Tony Danza's character on a sitcom in the 80s. That is her resume. Okay, so when Alyssa Milano, who is now a major player in the Democrat Party, is making these pronunciations about whatever, and she's out for Joe Biden, and I'm sitting there going, dude, you're going to hitch your wagon to Alyssa Milano?
Sam.
It's Sam from Who's the Boss. Alyssa Milano's reason for being taken seriously is that she played a kid of Tony Danza on a sitcom 30 years ago, and has done bits and pieces and some, I think some softcore porn in the 90s.
God, I don't know anything about that.
I don't hold it against
a couple of those like back channel.
I think she
shows.
did some Skinamax stuff in the 90s because it got pretty bad. Which and that's not a judgment at all, because you know what? Homegirl doesn't look all that bad.
No, I was going to say I missed that.
She still doesn't look all that bad.
No,
but that's not a reason. If I were to take her seriously based on that, it would be as sexist as dismissing her based on that.
Right.
I am neither taking her seriously nor dismissing her based on that. I'm simply pointing out that her resume includes nothing of substance beyond that stuff.
Right.
It is. She doesn't have any political experience. She was a sitcom actress. She did some softcore porn, and now she's a Democrat Party heavyweight.
Yep. Which is kind of idiotic.
Well, but what else are you going to go with?
Right.
Before the woke era, it was like Michael Moore. And I will be honest and say I would rather listen to Sam from Who's the Boss tell me about why abortion at 43rd trimester abortion should be allowed.
Right.
Than listen to Michael Moore do anything. I wouldn't want to listen to Michael Moore try to get up off the couch. Because, that's got to be just... I'd rather... Alyssa, if you would like to bibble bab, but, she's been around a minute.
Right.
You've got... she was here in Georgia for twice, actually. Because she came here for the congressional run that Ossoff lost to Karen Handel. Yep. And then she came back to try and get Stacey Abrams in.
Right.
You got to wonder, actually, if you think about it now. I'm like, wow, Joe Biden is going to hitch his wagon to the chick that played Sam from Who's the Boss.
Okay.
And listen, when you can think of all the candidates she shepherded to victory, like Hillary Clinton. Oh, no, that didn't happen. John Ossoff, no. Stacey Abrams? Andrew Gillum? No. Jesus God, how about this track record? Rob, she did go to Texas for that didn't work out.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Sam from Who's the Boss is political anthrax, dude. I'm like, okay, Joe, if you're going to, you fine, go ahead, bud.
From a Republican standpoint, hey, have you met Mr. Biden? Have you met Miss Milano yet?
She is, I feel like, is that a statement we can make here at the last pod on the right? Alyssa Milano is the typhoid Mary of politics.
But there you go. I like that. Yes, we can do that.
Anthrax Alyssa. Hashtag that on Twitter, y'all. That if we should do that, hashtag of the week. Hashtag Anthrax Alyssa.
I like it. Let's do it.
So put it on. You just heard it, kids. When you get on your social media, make sure you throw something in about hashtag
Anthrax.
And for Mom and Pop who are listening, hi, love you both. Hashtag, when I say hashtag, I mean like the pound sign.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
On the bottom corner of the phone there.
The pound. Remember the pound sign? We call that a hashtag now. And you guys aren't on Twitter, so don't worry about it. You know what? Forget that I even mentioned this. The rest of you, get on Twitter, hashtag Anthrax Alyssa. I like it.
All right.
I like it. Joe's going to have some company, though.
Yep.
He's got... Well, you got the guy from Washington just jumped in this week. And now de Blasio says he's going to announce next week.
Really?
Bill de Blasio, the groundhog killing, big bird looking, socialist doofus from the city of New York is the hot dog Bannon.
Exactly.
He's a groundhog killing, hot dog Bannon, big bird looking, MFer.
Mayor of New York. He has announced that he is the word on the street is that he is going to announce his candidacy, which I believe brings the number of Democrats running for the presidency to 6,000 or 7,000. I was going to say, a couple more of these guys get in, and they're going to have to start calling each other for funds.
Yeah,
they're going to end up like robo-calling each other because they're going to run out of people. Every Democrat is running for president. It'll be like, have you considered donating to Joe Biden for president? Hey, Joe, yeah, it's Pete Buttigieg. I'm running against you, man.
Yes.
I'm not donating to your campaign.
No money.
Oh, I'm sorry. Everybody you call is going to be like, dude, I'm not donating to you. I'm running against you because they're all running now. They are all running.
Yes,
that is,
they are.
Yeah. And again, sure, man. Let's get Alyssa Milano to weigh in on this one.
Yeah, that would. Yes, please.
I want to see
please
the 23. I know I'm using some creative math, but I believe they are at about 23 people,
20 something.
That are running. Let's have their debate moderated by like Alyssa Milano and like which one of the Arquettes was in front of Congress this week saying that women aren't in the Constitution. I can't remember which one it was. It's not the hot one and it's not the trans one. It's the other one.
Right. I can't keep them straight.
Yeah, the other one. Anyway, she was in front of Congress this week testifying on the need for the new Equal Rights Amendment because she says women aren't in the Constitution. It's like, honey, listen. And again,
I think it's everybody.
What the Democrats are doing with this whole close association with Hollywood, it's the same thing they did before 2016. They're in this little bubble. They all tell each other that they're geniuses. They don't listen to anyone else, pay attention to anyone else. And you come out with nonsense like the Democrats arguing, spurred by Anthrax, or is it Anthrax Alyssa. And whichever one of the Arquettes it was.
That's hashtag.
Yeah, hashtag Anthrax Alyssa. And hashtag, don't bother with the hashtag because I couldn't even tell you which Arquette it is.
Right.
Not, like I said, not the hot one. Not the one from the Toto song.
Exactly.
That's how I remember.
Me too.
But there's women aren't in the Constitution. We need an Equal Rights Amendment so that women can be guaranteed the same rights that men are in the Constitution. And actually, Nuke Boy Swalwell even jumped in on that.
Yep.
He said, you know how many times women are mentioned in the Constitution? 0. That's got to change. You know how many times men are mentioned in the Constitution? 0. Everybody's in the Constitution. Actually, I personally interacted with hashtag Anthrax Alyssa over this issue this week. And she said, it's wrong. It's time for that to change. Women aren't in the Constitution. It's time for that to change. Like, yeah, you are. We all in it.
Yep.
Everybody's in it. I mean, we don't need to make discriminating double secret probation illegal. Okay? The Constitution says race, gender, creed, whatever. It's all, if you go through all the amendments, everybody covered.
Right.
So it would literally be like making discrimination extra illegal.
Right.
Like it's not just illegal, now it's extra illegal. We're going to amend the Constitution saying all that stuff we already said in this document, double, but only for chicks, man.
Yep.
I mean, that's actually kind of discriminatory. Because if you're going to make a group, if you're going to specially give them special protections or whatever in the Constitution itself,
right,
where everybody already has the same protections.
Yeah.
If you're going to single a group out and say, well, they get extra protection, that's actually discriminating against everybody else. Yep. So if you're not a chick, now you're one down in the Constitution. Yep. That is not a good idea.
No, it's not.
But, again, we're talking about stuff that they're being compelled to do or impelled to do by Hollywood morons.
Yep.
But, how do you figure that's going to go long term? Go ahead. Stick with that if you want. But I want one more on Anthrax Alyssa hashtag Anthrax Alyssa because I saw this week. She tried to explain away Biden's problem with touching the women inappropriately. She's like, you have to understand, he grew up in an unusually affectionate house. Oh, you saw that, didn't you?
Yeah. Yes.
It was an affectionate household. I'm like, there's affectionate, and then there's like somebody should call DFACS.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Sexual molestation there.
I'm like, I'm sorry that Joe grew up that way. If that was going on in Joe's house, somebody should have called the cops.
Yep, somebody should have done something.
Because the things I've seen him doing, even with little kids, like young girls.
Right.
If that was going on in Joe's house, that's not cultural, that's criminal. and icky as hell. But again, Anthrax Alyssa, you go, girlfriend. Mikey, before we get to our hotter takes, because we got some good stuff coming up, and I know we want to do some Peach State pickings because Stacey Abrams been running her mouth all week. What are we? We're at the lowest unemployment since 1969.
Yep.
How about that economic news? 263 non-farm jobs added this month. It's pretty solid right there.
Yep.
These are the good ones, though. The GDP is at a record high. 3% wage growth after last year. Get this, Hispanic unemployment is down to a record low of 4.2%. There was a period of time 20 years ago where they would have said 4% unemployment for the whole country is almost impossible.
Right.
And granted, that's only 20 years after Carter had almost put the whole country out of business. So.
Right. That's true.
But 4.2%. Also, African-American unemployment is the lowest it has ever been. Ever. This is the most unemployment is at a low right now. It is at the lowest point in my entire lifetime. Literally my entire life.
Right.
This is the best it's ever been for jobs. In fact, it's the best it's ever been for jobs in your entire lifetime.
Wow, dude.
You being older than me.
Wow.
Well, it's more years. I'm just saying.
You're right.
All right. My older brother, who is, well, I don't know. I think you may be older than him, but I'm not sure. But, I mean, you got to go back into the post-World War II days to find an economy that was booming like this.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, these are the best unemployment figures of my entire life. Literally, since I've been on the planet. Granted, I was born during the Carter years.
Right.
You were born during LBJ's administration.
Stop, man.
Well, no, I'm just saying it's true. Stop. And also, you're incredibly old. I mean, you're like an old, double old.
Come on.
Old to the oldest power old.
Right. My parents used to sleep in twin beds.
God, I hope that's not true.
No.
So it's you can't. They're running out of stuff to go after him on.
Right.
And you remember when before he got elected, specifically Paul Krugman of the New York Times, but all of the liberal economists were saying Trump's going to kill the economy.
Right.
We're going to be in real trouble if this guy gets elected.
Yep.
It's going to be a disaster. And every single indicator, every single major indicator, from GDP to African-American unemployment, are the best they've been in literally half a century.
Yep.
Or more. And I'm like, among other things, obviously, well, there goes another plank for your platform next year, Democrats.
Right.
But I can't help but notice, watching all of this, the Democrats' economic predictions age like bananas.
But yeah, you're right.
Like, you're so wrong so much. Wow.
Age like bananas. That's
age like bananas.
Weren't those ripe yesterday?
Man. Paul Krugman's economic columns have age spots on them when they get printed. That's Anthrax Alyssa ages like bananas. I like it. That's a good show. That's going to be our header for the show. By the way. Go. Put that up. That's not going to be our header for the show. Oh. That's a terrible. All right. I know we got to get going. So I want to but we want to do hot take of the week.
Okay.
We're going to go to Alabama. Sweet home Alabama, where John Rogers wants to kill you. True story. True story. This is our hot take of the week here at the last pod on the right. Alabama State Representative John Rogers, Democrat, I believe, of Birmingham.
You're right.
Is it Birmingham?
I think so.
Quote, some kids are unwanted, so you kill them now. You bring them in the world unwanted, unloved. Kill them now or kill them later. Was what John, I just said his name. John Rogers,
right.
Democrat and anti-life activist, I guess. I'm even narrow. Even Planned Parenthood was probably like, dude,
it's like,
that's a little strong. I mean, yeah, but really? When he got called on it, because, obviously you say something like that, someone's going to notice.
Right.
Donald Trump Jr. said, hey, dude, that's creepy and weird and not cool. Like, that's Gosnell level creepy.
Right.
Okay. He says, in response to that, speaking about the president's son, and whether you like him or not, we're talking about a senior advisor to the president of the United States of America.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So you got this anti-life guy down in Alabama, John Rogers, who is already so far off the reservation, even like Gosnell people are going, dude. Where did that come from? He says, when Trump Jr. criticized him, he says, quote, his mother should have aborted him when he was born.
Yes, I saw that. Oh.
Because he's retarded. Now, I'm not personally saying about the Rogers. That's a quote. Rogers
right.
referred to the Donald Trump Jr. as retarded and a poster boy for abortion. Now, kids, your buddy Ben is going to say some stuff to you here. I get that some of you can listen to a year's worth of The Last Pod on the Right. Whether you listen to it through the site at laststopontheright.com, you pick it up through social media, through our Facebook group, you listen to it through KLRN radio, you're not ever going to get off the abortion thing. I mean, that some of those people are like. Mm-hmm. They're like, no, we're not giving up on the abortion. We want the abortion.
Right.
It's a thing. That's all they care about. Fine. I mean, personally, I think you may have to. You're going to have a discussion with somebody at the pearly gates about that, but that's on you.
Right.
I vehemently oppose. That's like, man, you don't go talk. You guys really need to get some of your people in shape here, because you can't have a guy out there doing that.
Nope.
Like, oh well, just whack the kid. Because I guarantee you, even at like Narrow's offices, somebody's going, "Whoa, what did he say?"
Yeah.
All right. There was a phone call. Like, okay, seriously, John. We feel you,
You got to lay off, brother.
We feel you, but, pump the brakes a little bit, homeboy. Because, we got fundraising and ain't nobody. He's unrepentant about it.
Right.
So we'll classify him with Anthrax Alyssa and all the rest of the Hollywood buffoons and the people that are still defending the president and pistol packing Mama Kamala. Louis Farrakhan.
Yes.
Real quick on that. We didn't get to it because we ran out of time. Louis Farrakhan has been barred from Facebook along with some alt-right wing nuts.
Right.
Everybody's upset. And I know how you feel about this. I know you feel like there's a free speech thing here because Facebook serves as a public forum or whatever.
Sort of. But it's
privately owned.
Right. I agree.
It's privately owned. Farrakhan is a human poop stain.
Right. I have no problem with him being.
I'm not like going to miss him.
Right.
Really? I'm going to catch up.
I'm going to be disappointed. I'm not going to be able to keep up with him anymore. Well, I really wasn't. Anyway.
What? You unfollowed me? Oh,
exactly.
But all of these people have gotten to the point that they're becoming interchangeable with each other.
Right.
It wasn't that long ago that something like Rogers, our hot take of the week, John Rogers from Birmingham, Democrat from Alabama, saying we need to abort them because otherwise you're just going to whack them later.
Right.
Basically kill kids. The infanticide that started out with Ralph Northam in Virginia. Mm-hmm. It's like, we'll make the baby comfortable and then decide whether or not we want to, rip its face off or whatever.
Right.
You guys want to keep doing this, you're welcome to it. And I'm serious about this. If this is the road, speaking to you as a liberal, if you're out there, and I know we know for a fact that we have some trolls that listen and get pissed off at the show.
Right. Yeah. Well,
it's fine. I understand you're never going to give up on the abortion. You're never going to give up on the hate. Nothing that Trump does is ever going to be anything but evil. Even if he were to come out tomorrow and say, I think that we should just hand everybody $100,000 cash. They'd come out against it because it was his idea.
Right.
Because Orange Man bad.
Yep.
You're getting to the point now where you're becoming almost like alien species. It's people that are, in 2016, they were absolutely certain up to about 10:30 p.m. on election night that Hillary had it in the bag.
Right.
And then it all went to Mom, earmuffs, 3, 2, 1, shit.
Right.
And like that, it was over. They're worse than that now.
Right.
Okay. And they're telling themselves that this is all cool and this is acceptable. And I'm like, if your rhetoric, whether it be Rogers or Anthrax Alyssa or whomever, or Biden, or Farrakhan, or Ilhan Omar, siding with the guys running people over with tanks in Venezuela. If your rhetoric, that kind of rhetoric, which only 2 years ago would have been totally unacceptable, is now your standard party line. I mean, you guys are going to take it worse than a bad porn star. I'm not trying to be gauche. It's going to go. Yeah, you're going to take the kind of pounding Kamala Harris hasn't taken since she was still sleeping with Willie Brown.
Oh, dude. All right.
I thought that was public knowledge that everybody knew that they had an affair.
You know what? Yes.
Wait, are you saying that there were people out there who are not aware that Kamala Harris boosted her career by having an extramarital affair with Willie Brown?
No, I'm pretty sure everybody knows. I'm pretty sure.
Well, they do now.
Yeah, they do. So.
All 15 of the people listening to our show just found out. What? That's where we're at, kids. We are heading to the hills. We're coming up on 90 minutes, and I want to get the hell out.
Yep.
And I know the kids at KLRN Radio are sitting there going, when are these guys going to put a sock in it?
I have to pee.
Gee, thanks for that.
Yes.
You know what? I'm not even going to edit that. We're going to let that ride.
That's cool.
Beautiful babies. Love every single one of you. We had a whole lot of fun today and covered a lot of material as we head for the hills here. Want to thank everybody that's listening. Want to remind you all to come visit our website at laststopontheright.com.
Yep.
I am on social media at Bennett Truth. That is 2 E's, 2 N's, 3 T's.
They're not all in a row.
Mikey is on Facebook. You can find him through our Facebook. If you want to talk to Mikey.
The group.
Yeah, you can find him through Facebook.
Yep.
You mind that? Can I do that?
No, that's cool. I'm there.
All right, so go to Facebook.
I watch it.
Check out our group. Last Stop on the Right has a Facebook group, and Mikey's in there, and you can friend request him, and you can watch his dumbass memes with him. Actually, do that so that I don't have to anymore. Appreciate that. Also, KLRNradio.com, and check out their Spreaker channel.
Yep.
Because they've got some really cool people on that. Not just us.
Right.
They've got actually some really talented folks on there.
Yes.
And you should check them out.
Spreaker.com.
Spreaker.com. And just look for KLRN Radio, and they're on there. And and make sure you support them, even if you don't support us, because they're working with the Honor Flight, and that's cool.
Yep. Absolutely.
That is cool.
Great organization.
And you got anything for the weekend, dude?
Nothing.
No. There's no football, so it's real hard to get jazzed.
There's nothing.
I'm just going to drink some beer, possibly fracture one or two minor laws.
It's got fracture. Yes.
Just going to bend them.
They won't be broken.
All right, my friends. That's enough. That's enough of our crap for this
That
week.
is. That is. Absolutely.
You know what? Not going to subject you in another moment of the last pod on the right. Special thank you to everybody at KLRN Radio. Check them out at klrnradio.com. Also check out our website, laststopontheright.com. Don't forget about all the social media nonsense we were babbling about earlier, even though you got better things to do with your time. Go out and do them. I am Ben Crystal.
Mike Abel.
And we are saying to you, my friends, this has been the last pod on the right. We out.